The fans are obviously tailgating, ready to roll, painted faces, ready for another evening of football here in the American Football Association. The sun setting behind us here at Network Associates Coliseum. It's the New England Patriots and the Oakland Raiders right here on the AFA on YouTube. And it's Cameron Duty and DJ Kilgannon. The dynamic duo rides again. Hello, partner. How are you doing? Good to be with you.
Yeah, partner, I am super happy to be here. And I mean, what else can you expect tonight? We're going to see some great football. The two teams that have really started to pull away from the pack, if you will, here in the AFA, and super excited to see how this one unfolds.
Yeah, absolutely. The Raiders come in with a 6-2 record. The Patriots right behind them with a 5-3 record. Obviously, the perennial postseason favorites. Of course, we've got that coming quickly down the pipeline. Wherever you're at, wherever you are watching, we welcome you in, and we are just glad, as always, to be here with you to what we feel like could be one of the most exciting games at this point in the season. Because DJ, these teams are now starting to hit, as we said, full stride, all steam ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen these teams match up in the past, right? And I expect this game to be more flushed out and more exciting maybe than the previous, just because of how much these teams have grown since those last two games. The Patriots, excuse me, have continued to flush out their dual-headed back tandem in the backfield, and the Raiders just get stronger every week in the pass defense, it seems.
As we get underway, the ball spotted at the 20-yard line. Let's go ahead and say hello to this starting lineup for the New England Patriots, led by quarterback Cannon McAllister, the fullback Thaddeus Bubba Rigg, and then the running back, the big stepper. The wide receivers are Jebediah Butters, Kool-Aid, and Marley Cush. The tight ends, Quinchester Baggins, Clay Razor. And that brings us to this first snap as we've got the big man, Thaddeus Bubba Rigg. You talked about the two-headed tandem. We see it in action early on, gain of two.
And these are the type of guys you're going to need in the middle of the field for the Raiders if you're going to stop this rushing attack, right? No, Drew, especially early on in the season, established himself as a uh, very dominant linebacker in the middle of the field, especially when it came to stopping the run. It slowed down a little bit as far as production goes, but expect to see some of it.
McAllister going deep, and that was Van Lacey with the deflection. Incomplete, brings up 3rd and 8. Let's introduce you to the Oakland defense. The defensive tackles, Colin Richards and Kevin Beers. The linebackers, you mentioned No Drew and DeMarcus Demolition. The cornerbacks, Tater Tots, Tyron Voss, and the safeties, of course, we mentioned Van Lacey at free safety and DJ Kilgannon at strong safety. And the 3rd and 8 coming up here for McAllister and the Patriots. Here's the snap. Going to throw after a little hesitation, and it's incomplete. Batted away. Good defense. Brings up 4th and 8. That was intended for Jebediah Butters.
Yeah, and that was Tater Tots, who was completely blanketing the inside shoulder of the receiver there, who tried to pull that one in. And that was just great man coverage all the way. We saw two back-to-back passing plays that were a decent way downfield that both ended up with a defender getting a hand on the ball. Just displays
Interesting.
that great secondary we talked about.
A little butter on some tater tots. Interesting there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ball on the 41-yard line, which is where Oakland will take over after that return. And let's just keep rolling here with the starting lineups. Quarterback Brady White, field general for the Raiders. The running back is Ash Tangenti and Isabella Maccabees. The wide receivers are Dillian Voss, Trevor Austin, and Chris Collinsworth. Now here's a guy. And on tight end, it's Austin Wilson. Rounding out this offensive lineup for the Raiders. Here is the snap. Brady White's first pass, incomplete. Again, two Patriot defenders there in the vicinity.
Yeah, see, the Raiders are a team, you think of the Patriots, you think kind of run first, right? The Patriots is a team, I think, that likes to keep things balanced, but they like to keep it on the shoulders of their quarterback. Definitely pass first. We've seen in past weeks where he's thrown a ton of interceptions in games, and he's just got to keep things clean.
So we'll see what we've got here. That's White throwing inside advantage. It goes to number 11 there, Trevor Austin, but he couldn't come up with it. Again, that was good coverage by the Patriots. A quick 3rd and 10 coming up.
That was an example of it there. Just far too risky of a throw. All right, you called him a gunslinger. I like to think gambler, right?
Yeah.
Just not afraid to make a risky throw.
3rd and 10 right here for the Raiders. Showing pressure. Oh, it's a little toss pitch. Try to throw this defense off guard. Could not do it. Wrapped up after a gain of 3. Ingram on the stop. The Raiders will have to punt it away.
Yeah, we've seen this team draw that up in the past on those third and long scenarios. I think they're just trying to catch the defense off guard, if you will, right after two passes that didn't have any success really at all. Maybe just try and catch them off guard, try and get back to the run, and just didn't work out in their favor. Two very slow drives to start from both of these squads.
And, we kind of expected it, though, didn't we, DJ? I
Yeah.
mean, these two teams with the talent that they have, it's going to take a little bit of feeling out. I mean, this really is, as we said, not to hype it up too much, but two potential postseason powerhouses going at it here. As we've got the big man, Thaddeus Bubba Rigg. Well,
there
all
he
steam
goes.
ahead. Look at that, getting through the coverage,
man.
and he gets a first down. Big time run.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a Bubba Rig. He had to let go of the trailer to round that corner, pick up a little bit of speed after he dodged that defensive lineman that was tackling or diving for his shoes, right? And a great run there from the fullback to be able to push him right at midfield.
Now they go back to this tandem with the big stepper. He doesn't get as much. It's a good defensive play there by the Raiders, and that will bring up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, you can't let the Patriots get too many of those successful runs in a row. It's like a snowball effect, if you will. The more they get, success on the ground, the easier it's going to be for them. It's just going to help build their confidence.
Delayed handoff to Bubba Rigg, and he stopped right at the line of scrimmage. And you got to credit big number 52 there for the Raiders, who comes up, really minds his assignment well, and gets the tackle.
Yeah, those are the plays you need to make. You have to make those one-on-one tackles against these runners here in New England, because if you don't, they will make you pay for it.
McAllister floats it over, and it's incomplete, going towards the middle of the field. Again, looking for Butters on 3rd down. They can't connect.
And Van Lacey, the one there implementing his no-fly zone rule set in the back of that defense, and he's certainly holding it true, because we've seen 2 passes come his way, and he's gotten a hand on both of them.
Again, another punting situation at hand for the Patriots as they hand it back over to the Raiders. Deep, though, in their own territory, they will have to start this from the 18-yard line. A really good punt there with 5:25 remaining.
Yeah, now, I mean, it's time to see if Oakland can really get something going, right? Maybe try to involve the run game a little bit more on earlier downs. We saw them try and go with it on 3rd after 2 unsuccessful passes, right? Clearly, New England prepared for a pass-heavy attack like we all expected.
Here's Brady White again to throw. Slings it. Here's his man. That's a little more like it. Trevor Austin, he takes a good hit at the end of it, holds onto the football. Another first down coming up for Oakland.
And if they are going to get success, those are the passes that they're going to need to do it with, right? Those quick, 2 or 3 drop throws that get the ball out of your hands very quickly and don't let the pressure affect you too much.
Calling signals out here before the snap. It's a handoff to Ashton Jeanty. Fights across the 40. A really tough 6-yard pickup. And quickly, let's do this, DJ. Let's mention this Patriots defense. We've not been able to do that yet. Defensive tackle Doc McStuffins and defensive end O.J. Peppers. The middle linebacker Trey Ingram and the cornerback Trayvon Austin. And free safety Joey Cronin. As we have a 2nd down play here. That is once more Tangenti with another good run and another first down.
Some new additions on this defense as well. They got a new linebacker helping out in the middle, Brandon Robinson. And if I'm not mistaken, the first team to have some special teams help, the Patriots acquired a kicker between weeks, Brody Pierre.
Very good. And here's a throw into deep coverage, and it's incomplete. That was intended. I think he was going for Voss there. I may have to check that, but it is a 2nd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, talking about those risky throws again here from Brady, right? Trying to fit it into a very tight spot like we saw him do earlier. Throwing it to, I'd argue, one of the better corners in the AFA in Trayvon Austin.
2nd and 10 here. Stepping up, Brady White throws. It is complete, and he just had to, like we said, step up in the pocket, let that thing fly as he finds Chris Collinsworth for a first down.
See, now here's a guy in Chris Collinsworth that's going to hang on to those catches in traffic, right? You see Law right on his back shoulder laying a hard hit on the in route, right? But thankfully there for the Raiders, it was past that first down marker. You saw him step up in the pocket there, maybe expecting some outside pressure to develop, but none really did.
All we need is for you to slide in from the left of the frame there, and you're a very own Chris Collinsworth here in the booth, DJ Kilgannon. Here is Brady White going to go deep here. Back, about 10 yards back in the pocket. He does throw it, completes it to Austin, but we've got a flag. Face
Yeah, face
mask.
mask. You could see it right at the end of that tackle. Just cannot keep your hands around the face. Trevor Austin, the one that got dragged down.
So they will have to tack on some extra yardage there. We'll get a look at a really nice route run by Austin here. And yeah, right there
Yep.
you see just the infraction at the end of it.
Yeah, can't do that.
But it's so interesting, and I've had this conversation with people a lot, around the different football circles. But it is so easy and so just kind of involuntary to
Yeah.
reach up there and just grab that face mask or hold for a split second longer. As we've got Tangenti with a big run popping to the outside, and he picks up 8, gets close to the 10.
And especially when you're a corner in that situation, right? Because you're trying to reach around the upper body of the receiver to try and maybe get a hand into the catching area, trying to get a hand on the ball in any sort of way you can. And that's going to put your hands around the helmet of the receiver, right? So like you had mentioned, involuntary, just grabbing it, maybe getting a finger or two caught in it and pulling them down. It's going to happen.
Second and 2. Here's another handoff as you see Ashton Genty warming
Oh,
up. They
wow.
won't get him down. He sheds that final tackle and celebrates into the end zone for a touchdown for the Raiders.
He certainly earned the yards he gained on this drive, Cam. It feels like every single run he was a part of, he broke a tackle, and that time it was to score.
How impressive. What a drive by the Raiders. And we said, it would take a little bit of time for these two offensive units and defensive squads to fill one another out. That they did. The Raiders, rather, coming back with something working very successful here. Again, how many times do we say this? You have to be able to run the football to win. And there you've seen a good mix of both, opening up the passing attack for Brady White as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we talked about right at the start of the game, right? Is this Oakland offense can be very balanced if they want it to, right? We saw that first drive, they went completely pass heavy, and maybe they were like, you know what? Let's go back to that balance scheme that we thought about in practice, right? So they involve the run a bit more. They keep throwing with Brady, which is what this team needs to do to be successful, right? Maybe just not as much. Let routes develop with the run, and they did exactly that there, and it worked out very well.
And yeah, Ashton Genty on the sidelines getting his flowers there, if you will, for that heck
Well
of a run that
deserved.
puts them out 7-zip in front here with 2:47 remaining in this first quarter. All right, New England, let's see what you can do. Ball on the 22-yard line, 2 men in the backfield and 2 receivers to the right side of the formation.
Feels like a very quick quarter so far, Cam.
Indeed. A lot of running clock as we've got a toss out to the left side. Going to go nowhere as that goes right into the arms of number 54, DeMarcus Demolition with the stop.
This is our fifth drive as a whole, and of course, it's just now starting when we've only seen really that one successful drive from Oakland that was able to get the majority of the field taken off, and that's really what took most of the clock away.
Here's McAllister to throw. Again, double coverage, nothing there. And that is a great breakup by the Raiders. Brings up a quick 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and that's just a risky throw there for McAllister. You had a pair of defenders, one of which being that over the top safety, one of which being the linebacker following him from the route that he made across the field. It's just going to be really hard to fit that in.
McAllister has thrown 4 incompletions in a row, trying to break that streak. And he
Oh,
does so. Big play going on 3rd down to Jebediah Butters. He finally has his man.
wow.
Takes it to the house for the touchdown.
Wow.
What a play.
Wow. I mean, one-on-one coverage with Tater Tots, and McAllister just throws it up. Trust his receiver. He kind of gets lost as the catch is made. You see Van Lacey trying his best to track him down, makes the dive and narrowly misses. And that catches up Tater Tots as he's also trying to chase him down. And he was gone. One play, that's all you need.
Incredible. What an explosive response by the New England Patriots when, for a minute, you start kind of thinking to yourself, what kind of game is this going to be here for New England? You know, it's the run's not going anywhere. The passing is sketchy. And then all of a sudden, one play going to Jebediah Butters. And we had mentioned that is Cannon McAllister's big third down target. And boy, it paid
Yep.
off that time.
Yeah, it absolutely did, right? And we had saw those last two drives for New England, like you said, really just focus on the run game, right? And I think that's why we've seen so much clock get chewed out in this first quarter. Is even on unsuccessful drives, they're running the ball a ton, right? That drive, only 3 plays, and the majority of the entire yardage they gained on it being on that last pass. So maybe see a little bit more of some explosive attempts here from New England now that they tasted some success from it.
The Raiders back to work. All tied up at 7 with 2:02 remaining in the opening quarter. Wide under center, two receivers to the left. He looks towards the middle of the field. That was
Oh,
a diving attempt at it as he was trying to find Dillian Voss. Incomplete. Maybe a little too much mustard on that one.
yeah, they're slightly off the mark, one of the two. He definitely had him open, right? It looked like a cover three. So both of those linebackers split in the middle of the defense and then had a chance to fully take advantage of that lapse in coverage, but unable to.
Here's Brady White again to throw. It is
Oh,
tipped.
man.
Almost intercepted. Really good coverage by New England that time. I believe that was Joey Cronin that was in the
Yep.
vicinity. It's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, you're right, partner. And this feels very, very similar, partner, to that first drive we saw from Oakland. I'm curious to see if they want to try with this delayed, little shovel they've tried in the past, or if they try and air it out. I definitely think they should stick through the air.
Here's 3rd and 10. And again, on 3rd and long, and they just toss it. Boy, that was an instant replay, as you said, DJ, of that
Yep.
very first drive. Tangenti gets 3 and nothing more.
Yeah, I mean, we find Oakland getting stuck in patterns and in repetition quite a bit. And their tendencies, they try to stick them close to their chest, but they flare quite a bit. I mean, you could see that play coming before it even got called on the field, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. And it just kind of, jarred that in my memory there, seeing him toss the Tangenti on that 3rd and long. And I'm like, we
Yep.
have read this book before, my
Hmm.
friend.
Yeah. I mean, imagine these defense, the DC and these defensive players who have scouted these teams all week. If I was able to predict that pitch coming before it happened, I can only imagine they were too.
Indeed. There's a good, tough run. Again, I am so impressed with Thaddeus Bubba Rig as he just continues to steamroll his way close to a first down there.
33% completion here for McAllister. They will mark that up as a pass. It was just past the line of scrimmage whenever he made the throw, a little bit forward there. And yeah, we saw him have a run where he had 4 incompletions in a row. It might have stretched to 5. Some early struggles here for McAllister.
Good pocket to throw out of.
Oh, there we
Warming
go.
up here, too, as he's able to locate his tight end, Clay Razor, for another first down as we work our way inside a minute in the first quarter.
Yeah, and there we go. Trying to shrug off the qualms he had early on in the passing game. You saw the drag route go underneath, and it was a great route tree because that pulled down the linebacker to cover that drag, which left that hitch route wide open behind the linebacker.
Here's a throw, little curl route, finding Kool Aid right there waiting for that pass, a 6 yard grab, and they get quickly back up to the line here, not long in the huddle.
Partner, we've seen it time and time again from the Patriots. Whenever they do pass the ball, they love these quick hitch routes.
Mm-hmm. Keep our eye out as we've got Kool Aid in motion once more here. Moves up to the top of your screen. Just shy of the 40 yard line. Here's the throw. Again, it's a little quick hitch route, and adjusting his body to get that one was Butters. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 situation.
And it's smart keeping it close to the stick because you have, like we had mentioned before, such a good running duo in the backfield that can pick up a yard when you need it.
At the end of quarter number one, we're all tied up at 7. The AFA game of the week is proving to be just that. A fantastic matchup to this point. You're watching the AFA on YouTube. It's Cameron Duty and DJ Kilgannon on the call. Big thanks to Brady White and the entire AFA staff for, of course, hosting us here in beautiful, sunny Oakland. 3rd and 1 coming. Here's McAllister. Hands it off. Another first down, the big stepper. And again, back to your point, DJ, that you made at the end of the first quarter. They keep it short distance. They've got two very able halfbacks to get the first.
Yeah, and yeah, like you had kind of led into, partner. I mean, the hitch routes help develop that, right? Because you don't sometimes you don't want to run in these situations, right? You'll start a drive with it, or you'll start a set of downs with it, but then you'll have to go back to a passing attack, right? So running
Oh,
late, oh my gosh, running late will always help you, especially if it's a short downage scenario.
meanwhile, there's one of the most exciting and physical backs of the entire AFA. Thaddeus Bubba Rig gets 7 on what we can simply call a bruising run.
He's mean.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't take any prisoners. Here's the finesse to the right side of the big stepper, and that's what I like about these two. You've got the finesse with the big stepper and the shifty little jukes and cuts, and then you got Bubba Rig, who's just, a bowling ball going
Yeah.
downhill.
Yeah, and one thing that not a whole lot of people look at is even on plays like that where it's I form, you have Bubba Rig out in front blocking.
Yeah, indeed. The guy just loves contact. He loves to hit. 2 yard gain there sets up 2nd and 8.
They call him the CTE Sentinel Cam.
Oh, well, there you go. Boy, I tell you, that
He
what more
won't even know
fitting of
his
a
own
nickname
name
could
by
that be, right?
30.
2nd and 8. Here is a give up the middle there, and that is the big stepper with big holes up front by the big man moving the pile, and another 1st and goal. The Patriots are on a roll here.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to your point earlier, they're such good polar opposites, right? Because the big stepper is just so quick. His first step, you saw that change of direction there. It was initially a run to the right. He cut it so fast to move to the open hole and had such explosivity, as we've said in the past, to just gain speed very quickly.
Here he goes again. Bubba Rig fighting for it. Maybe gets 2 as he is stopped. A nice coverage there by the Raiders. So 2nd and goal upcoming here.
Yeah, kind of expecting it there. Seemed like Oakland was put a few extra linebackers in the box to help counter the power there in the New England backfield.
Two receivers at the top of your screen here for the New England Patriots. But they give once more to the big stepper. Got the
Oh,
edge. He's tackled short of the first. And it's going to be a 3rd and about 2 yards coming here.
I love the play call. You put Bubba Rig at the tight end spot to help him seal a block over there. And you just try and run it to the outside. If he maybe kept it way along the edge, he could have got there.
3rd and goal. Curl
Um,
route. They get it.
oh wow. Ooh,
Touchdown. They're going to say Butters was able to do just enough to break the plane, and New England retakes the lead.
wow. Certainly a very close call. And,
Mm.
no pun intended, but their bread and butter is what's able to punch them into the end zone there. We've talked about how they love those hitch routes. They call another one there, and it crosses the plane. At least that's the call we saw on the field. It looked kind of close though.
Yeah, indeed. As we have the extra point here, good. And that's for Butters, his second touchdown already of the day. 12 plays, 67 yards, a much more methodical drive this time around. But the Patriots jump out in front here 14-7 with 5 minutes and some change remaining in this first half.
Cam, that almost felt like a prove yourself drive, right? Sometimes in these games we'll see a pretty close matchup and a team will have a huge explosive play, a one play score, and we think things are going to get close, and then they really just rely on those, right? They can't have a well sustained drive, but New England just completely proved that theory wrong, right? They come from a huge one play score to the most methodical drive we've seen all game.
Thus being one of the reasons why these two teams are at the top of the AFA standings. That ability to adapt.
Yeah.
as we see Brady White and company get things rolling here. Ashton Genty. Boy, I tell you what, you got the big stepper and Bubba Rigg on the Patriots side, and then you got Ashton Genty over here for the Raiders, as well as Maccabees. But you see, it's about 80-20 right now in the
Yeah.
carries, with Tangenti getting the bulk of it.
Yeah, he is such a physical runner to match with his speed. It's a very scary sight.
Here's Brady White. Oh, he's hit.
Oh my
Oh, man, I
goodness.
thought he was going to get rid of that one. And in the end, coming around the edge like a heat seeking missile, that's Vrabel, who knows a thing or two about playing for the Patriots and getting some sacks.
Oh yeah, you see him breaking away from the tackle there. He slips into the inside, but jumps a little too far. Actually misses Brady White, so then he has to come back, dodges the blocker, and still able to put him on his ass.
Man, it is a 3rd and 2 situation coming up here. Big play, momentum wise, I feel like, for the Raiders early
Yeah.
in this contest. Want to keep stride for what the Patriots have found the way to put together, and
Oh
that's how
wow.
you do it. Over the middle, Trevor Austin, he should never be that wide open and on his lonesome. 1st and 10.
Yeah, certainly not. That's another example of where we see them take. You see the linebackers splitting there, one heading to the right while the other heads to the left. They're just covering their zones, and that just leaves the middle of the field so weak.
Let me just say, I love that sky cam. That is one of the
Hmm.
best, and you provide a fantastic analysis partner. But that's where we get to do some of the real meat and
Yeah,
potatoes,
absolutely.
dissecting of these plays.
Yep.
As we've got Trevor Austin in motion at split backs, White steps up. He's done that a couple times today. We got a
Yes. Yep.
flag as that one's complete to Voss. Okay.
Oh wow.
So, defensive pass interference. The Raiders, of course, will accept. That'll keep the drive alive with a fresh set of downs.
Past the 50 now, Oakland just has to, continue the pace they've set for themselves to strive because, that last play was a pass interference, but they still had a completion and it was a pretty good one.
Back to the line of scrimmage, nothing more, maybe a yard for Tangenti, and that is as far as it goes. Boy, this second quarter has really taken off.
Oh, yeah. We saw, the Patriots, they took so much clock off just on the end of that last drive, right? Because it started in the first quarter.
Here is a throw out towards the edge. It is
Oh, man.
complete. What a nice strike to Chris Collinsworth. And yeah, give us a little move, Collinsworth. 1st and 10, Oakland.
I love it. And I mean, this is the Brady White we've seen in the past where he's, clear and concise, making the right read. You saw him moving to the right side of the pocket, but he knew that route could be open. And if it developed nicely, as soon as he saw the cut get made, he lofted it over the corner. And that's just textbook.
Certainly is. Now 2.5 minutes remaining. Here is a quick throw. Oh, just off the mark. Coming back for it was Trevor Austin, but that was one of them quick 3-step drops. White
Yeah.
lets it fly, but his man was not there.
Yeah, those are the passes they need to stick with, the ones that, we saw the sack earlier for New England. The passes that don't let pressure get involved. And
Yeah.
they tried to go for one there. It's a nice design play, just a little bit too much on it.
So 2nd and 10, 2:29 remaining here in the second. Here's a throw. The long ball over the top
Wow.
of everybody to Trevor Austin. We've got ourselves a 1st and goal for the Raiders.
Yeah, that looked like a cover two, right? And it's kind of the opposite of cover three in a way because whenever you see cover three happen, you see the middle part of the defense kind of separate itself, right? So they had a deep cover two zone, so they had two safeties playing way over the top, and then you had everyone else manned up, and Trevor Austin just completely burned his man, and the safety help was so far apart that there was no one else to cover the slack in the middle.
We've reached the 2-minute warning on what has certainly been an exciting contest. The Raiders are driving inside the 5-yard line, trying to tie this thing up before the half. It's the AFA Game of the Week on YouTube. 1st and goal here for Oakland inside the 10, spotted at the 9. Brady White out of shotgun. Here's the snap. Throws quickly again, and there it is. That is their bread and butter. And here's the guy, Chris Collinsworth, getting the touchdown and again busting a move or two or three.
Hey, he
Oakland is 1
loves.
point away from tying it up.
Yeah, I mean, talk about these celebration dances. He's the one. He's got it locked in. Another great throw here from Brady. We've seen them take advantage of those quick passes several times tonight, right? And you see the defender trying to close in and have a chance to make a play on it. That was Trayvon Austin, unable to break quick enough to try and impede the pass.
We get set for the extra point here. It is up and good, and all tied up at 14. Another solid drive of 8 plays, 77 yards, 3 minutes and 5 seconds off the clock. And you see Collinsworth still celebrating. We got to come up with a nickname for this guy, honestly. I mean, for those moves he's busting. But seriously, DJ, when we look at this, in all seriousness, how much work in the week leading up to these games does these teams put into the methodical, quick 2 step, 3 step drops, this quick release that Brady White and this offense has really sort of mastered here?
Yeah, I mean a ton, right? You got to draw up your game script for these first couple drives, right? You've got to scout your opponent. They know New England can get pressure around the edge easily. So dropping Brady too far back into the pocket could result into some pressure. We've already seen it happen once. If Vrabel able to pull him down, right? They just want to stick to the game script that they wrote up, keep things balanced, and get the ball out of Brady's hands quickly.
Trips to the right for McAllister, but he comes back left, and it is guarded nicely by Van Lacey. It is incomplete.
You're going to see the passing disparity here for New England. We're seeing that shallow right side of the field get taken advantage of a lot here for McAllister. 3 for 3 and a touchdown to that area of the field.
Minute 53 remaining in this first half. What has certainly been an exciting one. All kinds of scoring, able to move the football. A couple of hints of defense, too. And look at this. Boy, Cannon McAllister makes himself skinny and slides close to the first.
Yeah, and he doesn't gain the first, but I don't think it really matters with the pair of backs you have in the backfield. They'll be able to get you an inch. But he certainly could have got it. Maybe just got a little nervous there and decided to keep his head on his shoulders and slide early.
Yeah, I mean, and rightfully so. Definitely out of his nature, scrambling, not really his thing. And of course, getting that work put in there, the big stepper once more. He says, first down, let's keep this thing going.
Yeah, keep the train going. And here for New England, one negative you're going to look at this drive for them is they just passed the 35-yard line and you're closing in on a minute to go. Eventually, you're going to have to stop running and start throwing the ball if you want hopes of points on this drive.
Trips again to the right. Here's McAllister going to step up. Oh, he's going to run again.
Oh.
And he slides. The timeout called for. You see the big stepper getting that one in, trying to preserve just as many even seconds as possible here.
Yeah, No Drew seemed a lot more aware about the chance of him running after that first attempt. He broke off of his zone very quickly to tackle him.
Demolition looked like he may be pressuring, but he drops back into coverage at a nice soft cushion there for Jebediah Butters. Another first down and a second timeout called for by New England.
Past the 50 now, this drive looking more and more like it could result into some points. We see another pass like that and another completion downfield, and the Patriots are going to be in the field goal range.
Yeah, here is McAllister. What a strike!
Oh,
And
wow.
guess who he finds? That is his tight end, Quinchester Baggins, who simply put was climbing the ladder. They go no huddle here, DJ.
And now I'd love to see a run to stepper, maybe a pass to the flat.
Throw right to the middle, and it was covered nicely by the Oakland Raiders. Fortunate that was not intercepted. And 42 seconds left here. The clock stopped with 2nd and 10.
Yeah, those risky throws just can't be it right now. You cannot afford a turnover. You have to punch some in at the end of this one. Maybe keep it on the ground and just make sure you hurry back to the line before the time expires.
2nd and 10. Here's McAllister. What an arm on this guy.
Oh,
we're
wow.
probably going to get some interference here. That was close.
Yeah.
Face mask.
They will call it face mask.
They call face mask on the Raiders.
Wow.
And the Patriots will accept. Huh.
Yeah, thankfully not pass interference because that would have put them at about the 3-yard line. That face mask will only put them up to the 12. Still going to make things a lot easier, though.
Mm-hmm. But an opportunity to defend much better on the 12 as opposed to the 3. Yeah, Van
Oh, for
Lacey with
sure.
the
Yeah.
infraction. Here's McAllister. Oh, it's out of the hands. Maybe got a little help there swatting that one away. I think that was DJ Kilgannon who got in there and just stuck the hand in.
Yeah, he was playing the over the top zone. Saw the only route to his side was that breaking route, so he jumped on it early, able to get a hand in, and saving Oakland a touchdown in the other team's favor. There, I'm so curious to see how they proceed.
Second and 10, 34 seconds remaining in the half. Play clock down to 11. McAllister going to throw short of the first, but that gets a good chunk there. Third and 2, no huddle.
I mean, now you are inside the 5.
Dropping back, McAllister throws short out of the way.
Oh, knew
What
it
a
was coming.
beautiful defensive play by
Yeah.
Tyron Voss.
He knew it was coming the whole time. He watched the eyes of the QB so perfectly and positioned himself to where he didn't even really have to run back to the route. He was just able to pivot his step and bat it away, and they are forced to kick a field goal.
And that, my friend, is the difference between the face mask and a personal foul pass interference penalty.
Yep.
As
Yep.
the kick is good, New England does take the lead by 3, but when you're having to go from the 12-yard line as opposed to the 3, you've seen
Mm-hmm.
that was a lot of more tough sledding for the Patriots. They're only able to get a field goal.
Yeah, and you might look at that difference in the possibility of points in the future. If this game is continuing to be as close as it is come this second half, but points are points, right? I mean, you started that drive with around 2 minutes and some change to play with, and they were able to have a nice sustained drive and take it downfield. They need to keep their head up about that.
Absolutely. With about 11 seconds remaining, we'll see if the Raiders want to try to push the envelope here a little bit. They'll be spotted at the 27-yard line. Like we said, 11 ticks of the clock remaining. What does the Raiders do here, DJ?
I feel like you just give it to Tangenti and kiss this first half goodbye. They won't.
White will take at least one shot. He stands in there,
Oh
finds the
man.
man. Oh, okay. Gonna get out of bounds, looks like, as it was Collinsworth again quickly becoming a favorite target of Brady White. Now, where does this put him at on the field? Still short of the field goal range, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely so. But I mean, certainly going to make it a lot easier for a chance to, score rather than where they were at.
That means a potential, maybe Hail Mary situation going here. Three receivers at the bottom of your screen. White just going to drop back, let it fly. It's incomplete. We go to the locker rooms for halftime. As
Man,
we get
what
a
a game.
second, we're going to take a quick breather here for what's been an incredible first half. As it is New England leading Oakland 17-14. We welcome you inside our broadcast booth here for the AFA halftime show. Cameron Duty, DJ Kilgannon with you. We'll take a look at the stats to start with here. Close game all the way across the board. And here I think's the big stat in this, DJ. 0 turnovers up to this point.
Yeah, that was one thing we talked about. Both QBs need to do coming into this game, especially I think Cannon McAllister that falls onto. Right, we've talked about how dominant Oakland's secondary can be, and them not being able to fall to that turnover bug is certainly benefiting them. Let you lead the charge here, partner, on this halftime in my quick absence.
Absolutely, as Maccabees is one of the leading kick returners there for the moment, as we have Tangenti leading and rushing. Thaddeus Bubba Rig 1 yard behind with 39 yards. How about this? The quarterback pockets have been fantastic up to this point. Only one sack on the whole day. That goes to Vrabel, so it's been a pretty clean game in that regard. You start to see some of the slides here of some of the action that has taken place in this first half of the game. One field goal to speak of. That is what has given the Patriots the lead. And so as we get ready and we transition our way to the start of the second half, we start to look at what these teams may need to do different. I think, if anything, if you're the Patriots, I still want to see a little more run. Sometimes I feel like, and we'll also confer with DJ in just a moment, but the two-headed tandem there of Bubba Rig and the big stepper, don't go too far away from that. I think that's one of the Patriots' strongest suits. So obviously stick with that. That'll open up your passing for the Raiders. I think on defense, you may want to dial up a little bit more pressure to try to stop Cannon McAllister being able to connect with Jebediah Butters, but definitely they got to contain this guy. As you can see, he's a halftime hero. As we welcome you back to start this third quarter, Patriots and Raiders, the sun continuing to go down, and it's leaving this beautiful, very much almost a tropical like sky in the background. As we get this start of the third quarter away, the Raiders will receive the kick.
Gorgeous day here in Oakland.
Boy, that it is. And has been all day. Much better than what's happening on the other part of the world over there with
Mm-hmm.
all the snow and winter weather taking place this January. As we have a run up to about the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at the Raiders' possessions, DJ. It's been pretty solid for the most part.
Yeah, and it's funny because the two drives that we've seen them score have both been 8-play drives, very well sustained drives, right? And this is
Mm-hmm.
ignoring the drive they just had before the half expired. And the two drives they weren't able to score were both 3-and-outs, and they were both the exact same game script. Two passes, then the shovel. I feel like you just got to scrap it all together.
Here's Brady White as he sets up, throws into a at least four white jerseys there in the area, but he's able to make it stick as he finds his man for the first down. I believe that was Austin again.
Yeah, he's just such a surefire target here for Brady.
He truly is, and two of the very reliable wideouts in the entire league of the AFA, Dillian Voss and Trevor Austin, and now Chris Collinsworth getting into the action. There we see Trevor Austin again with another pickup, another 1st and 10, but with the addition of Collinsworth, what a really a trio of wide receiver threats that we have here in Oakland.
Yeah, absolutely. Really developing their receiving room very nicely. Trayvon Austin nearly had a hand on that one, but another quick seam route gets them another huge first down.
Coming out in the I formation. They're inside the 40 to about the 36-yard line where this ball will be spotted at. White throws quickly towards the sidelines. Kind of an ugly looking play. And how about Trayvon Austin there? Doing a really nice job of breaking up that intended pass that truthfully probably wouldn't want to go for a whole lot anyway.
Yeah, he gets one back after not able to make the play on that last play where he had a chance to, and able to make the big play that time. Really not too hard of a play to make, kind of just play your zone, and the receiver didn't make much effort to play make there.
Tangenti with the carry on 2nd down. And the good thing about running on 2nd down, you still got 3rd down to work with. The problem is when you run on 2nd down and you don't get much, that forces you into a third and rather long situation.
Yeah, and now it feels like you can see New England in the dime here. They know a pass is coming. Just got to beware.
White going to take off. Brady White fights hard for the first, and they're going to say he's just inches short. Boy, we don't see McAllister and White move much, but they sure have in this game. As that
Yeah, I
is
mean,
going to
man.
bring us here to this 43-yard field goal attempt to try to tie this up. The snap, the hold, the kick has distance. It's good. 6:06 remaining in the third quarter, and we are once again all knotted up after a 6-play, 44-yard drive.
Yeah, monkey see, monkey do. We see two touchdowns, in repeating fashion from these teams. New England, then Oakland, New England, then Oakland, and now you have matching field goals as well to keep this score close. What else did we expect here?
When it's the AFA game of the week and the two top teams in the standings here, that's almost kind of lends itself to that narrative, and we've seen just that today as they'll start this drive from the 24-yard line in a game that like we said, up to this point, tit for tat. And with 6:02 remaining in this third quarter, you just wonder, partner. In my mind, I start to think, the defense, somebody's defense is going to have to come up and make a big play to tilt the pendulum in their favor.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about the Raiders' defense. Will we see one of the secondary members here get a pick at some point, or will we see this New England linebacking core, or this Oakland linebacking core, excuse me, snuff out this rushing attack as well? And can somebody Or can the Patriots apply enough pressure on Brady to make him throw something risky that'll make him bite himself?
Well, right now for the Patriots, one of the keys to the half that I had was to continue using this fullback and running back tandem. There you see Bubba Rigg fighting hard for 4 on first down as we've got Kool-Aid in motion. Back to Bubba Rigg. Boy, he fights hard for 2 more yards, but those are 2 very pivotal yards because you can do a lot more with 3rd and 4 as opposed to 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 7.
Yeah, for sure, partner. And it's easy to counter this rushing attack. The Raiders have, at least when they're prepping for it, because the Raiders can add an extra linebacker, and that helps immensely.
Well, that was a nice play right there, right over the middle. A good little slant route, quick completion, and the drive will continue. That may not have been effective in a 3rd and 7 situation, but yeah, with that 3rd and 4, able to do that nice little quick drop off over the middle for the first. As we got Marley Cush in motion, we now have a trio of wide receivers to the right side. McAllister throws middle of the field into heavy coverage.
Oh,
Nobody comes down with it. Intended for Cush. It's 2nd and 10.
yeah, the safeties over the top met right at the point of attack, and had a chance to make McAllister pay that elusive interception we've been talking about today. And I feel like we really could see one at some point if McAllister keeps throwing risky passes.
It certainly feels that way. McAllister, a gunslinger indeed. And boy, what a way that he's been able to go about here and help turn this Patriots organization around. Early on, it was a little rocky. Once he came in, things changed. What an open field tackle, trying to do the halfback screen to the big stepper, going nowhere.
Yeah, that one just no luck at all. Now you have to push it way far downfield if you want to continue this drive, and this is the instances where Oakland thrives.
Here's McAllister. Pressure picked up nicely. Throws into a traffic of well, let's just say that was the freeway, and that was commandeered by a bunch of Raider pirates there. That's deflected. It's 4th and 12 coming. Getting again lucky that wasn't a turnover, an interception of any sort. They'll have a chance to punt it.
Yep, Tyron Voss, the one to get his hands on it. I mean, there was no room to make that throw. If he threw it where he threw it, the underneath corner being Tyron Voss was going to be able to bat it away. If you lofted anymore, there's the safety right there over the top who would have took it the other way. So, I mean, just the tight zone we've been seeing it all night here for the Raiders continues to shine on 3rd and long.
3:56 remaining in the third. Again, another fast-moving third quarters. We've had a lot of clock usage in kind of spurts in this game as we see Brady White and the Raiders come back out. Good field position here, starting from the 37. They'll actually officially make it the 38 as we see Tangenti with a run. Makes one man miss, gaining speed, dragged down around the ankles after a gain of 9.
There we go. That's going to make it easier and easier for Brady White to throw whenever Tangenti is able to get sustainable yardage like this, right? You're seeing him so far 8 carries for just over 50 yards in this game. He's been having a pretty solid outing.
Yeah, he has indeed. With like you said, this offensive scheme, the way that they like to run it, pretty effective here. He gets the ball, disappears into a pile. He does get the first down right around that midfield logo. As you can see, it's getting all worn and kicked up from the cleats, but that just kind of tells you what kind of game it's been out here.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen both teams reach this midfield mark quite a bit. They've all had some pretty solid drives. It's in spurts, but those solid drives are definitely good ones.
Here's the throw on the go. It's complete. That was Stanley out of nowhere, really, for his first reception of the day. I want to see this route here out of the backfield. That's the fullback.
Yeah, he runs a nice little Texas route, right? He cuts to the out and then cuts it back in, trying to separate himself and get inside from the outside corner there, and he did so very well.
Just past the 40 at about the 39-yard line as we see Tangenti again making men miss. Takes two Patriot defenders to bring him down. Austin in on the stop. Another gain of 6 coming here in a 2nd and 4 situation for the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, they just keep going run on first, pass on second, and it's continuing to keep them ahead of the chains, right? I mean, now that it's second and short, maybe you run. Yep, keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this change of pace for Oakland. It's starting to really work well. You know, it's going to start wearing out that Patriot defense, and look what happens. And you know, I'll let you finish the sentence. What happens when you get a tired defense out there?
I mean, a ton of things, but what comes to mind the most is this run game is just going to improve more and more.
And there you see the first down and some room to run just as
Wow.
we kind of queued it up. That's Ashton Genty breaking free for a big gain and another first down for the Raiders as they work their way into the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, some teams have a dual threat back system, right? But this Oakland backfield consists of Tangenti and Tangenti alone, right? He is just dominant. He always seems to break the first tackle, and he has such explosive speed around the edge.
And at some point, you know, you got to think this may kind of lull the Patriots into a false sense of awareness for the run. And you've got
Yep.
Brady White's arm right there under center. They do stick with the run here, and why go away from it? Another quick gain of 2 before Ingram makes the tackle.
Yeah, and that's a hidden gem of the run game, if you will. I mean, it just opens up that pass game even more, and especially with a QB like Brady, because he throws it so quickly out of the snap that the defenders can't even react in time.
How about that? There's that arm we're talking about, and into a very busy area of the back of that end zone is Dillian Voss with the touchdown to give the Raiders the lead.
This is another one of these risky throws we talk about Brady making all the time, but it worked
Ooh,
in his favor that time. Joey Cronin read the play well, tried to fall back and make a play on the ball, unsuccessful, and Dillian Voss makes his mark on this game.
that could have easily went the other way as an interception, but that one worked out in the Raiders' favor. And you know, sometimes you got to gamble, and with a quarterback like Brady White, you got to try to fit that into some tight windows. The extra point is good after another sustained 8-play drive gives the Raiders the lead here. So we've got a minute 9 seconds remaining in the third. 24-17 now our score. The home team out front and the home crowd happy about that. We'll see if the Patriots can respond and how they respond on this return, crossing the 20 out to the 25-yard line. And we'll get a chance to look at their possessions and, you know, 2 straight touchdown drives and a field goal before having to punt it away. And they've got to get back on the offensive here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw Oakland come out of the half starting with the ball, and they were able to match New England's field goal, right? But now that New England wasn't able to do anything the other way, and they were able to continue their success, they now hold the lead, and now New England is playing from behind. That's the first time they have this game.
Yeah, that is 10 points this third quarter for the Raiders to zip for the Patriots up to this point. That's Bubba Rigg with the carry. Pretty good gain on first down.
Yeah, that makes it a lot simpler looking here at second and third down in this future down. You could just run it again, make it an even shorter distance on the next play, or maybe go to another one of these hitch routes we've seen them run so often.
McAllister with a good pocket throws, and it's jarred loose, knocked away. Butters had it, but Tater Tot said, "No way, I'll get the better of this battle."
Yeah, maybe had too much butter on his hands there because that one hit him in the chest, but the hard hit jarred it out. And I mean, some will say if it hits your hands, you got to come up with it, but it's hard to do so with a big defender laying into your back.
It's hard to do with a tough spud like Tater Tots there.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, wow, wow. 3rd and 6 coming.
I'll give
3
you that one.
receivers to the left. You know I had to do it. I couldn't help myself. I've been wanting to all day. McAllister gonna throw. Oh, tipped away, incomplete on the 3rd and 6, intended for Marley Cush.
Yeah, I mean, McAllister just trying to loft it a little too far to keep it away from the safeties, and that results in it sailing all the way to the out of bounds, unable to make a catch inbounds. And that's part of this dangerous secondary, right? You can't throw towards them or they'll make you pay for it.
Here is the snap, the punt. Pretty good hang time here, about 4.1 seconds. And the special teams unit of New England is down there to make the tackle immediately. The Raiders will start on the 34 with 22 seconds remaining in this third quarter.
And now, if you're Oakland, partner, I feel like you just need to continue what worked for you on that last drive, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
keep running the ball now that you have the lead.
Well, this kind of lends itself to the, we talked about the pendulum swinging in at least one team's favor. For the Raiders now, they have a chance to do something big with it. Popping out to the left side there is Ashton Genty. Didn't look like he was going to get anything, and he's able to come up with three.
Yeah, I mean, doing what we expected. This should be the end of the third and start of the fourth here. And I mean, what they need to do in that next quarter of game is just run as much time off the clock as you can.
As we always like to say, get your fours up, folks. We're heading to the fourth quarter. The Raiders with a 10-point third quarter going to jump out to the lead 24-17. You're watching the AFA on YouTube. Cameron Duty and DJ Kilgannon here, and that right now has made the difference. With 8 minutes remaining in this regulation, the Raiders with an opportunity to stretch out that lead. But the Patriots got to come up with a big stop here on 2nd and 7. We welcome you into the start of this fourth quarter here from Oakland. Here is Brady White. Good pocket, but it's batted away as he kind of held on to it, maybe just a fraction too long. It's 3rd and 7 now.
Yeah, Law coming up into a huge way there on the coverage. Again, forced to throw here is this Raider offense, right? And I mean,
Yeah,
if you can continue scoring, that's just as good as chewing time off the clock.
indeed it
Got to
is.
stay
Three
ahead.
receivers here, yeah, to the top of the formation. There's that little toss pitch to Tangenti, but this is the best it's worked all day as he's able to pick up the first down and get closer to midfield.
Now there we go. That's exactly what you needed here if you're Oakland, right? We have seen that shovel pass tried 3 times now, Cam, and it
Mm-hmm.
finally works in their favor.
Yeah, they're feeling, pretty good about that play, and they know they've got the utilities in place to make it be effective. That time it worked. I feel like that was the best spot of the field that they've used it
Mm,
today, in my
yeah,
opinion.
agreed.
1st and 10. Here's White gonna throw a little quick curl route, pick up a 5, as that is Trevor Austin getting another reception. He's been busy today.
Yeah, he sure has him and Collinsworth. I mean, you say that all of these receivers really getting involved very well.
Here's White. Gonna throw. Has a man out there. Tipped. Actually, it looked like that could have very easily been intercepted by Trayvon Austin. But again, Brady White and these quarterbacks catching some breaks out here today.
Yeah, certainly are. Still the turnover bug is hiding in the back pocket of somebody waiting to be released, and I think that may be a huge turning point in this game if and when it happens.
3rd and 5. Man in motion. That's Collinsworth. Works his way up to the left side of the formation, top of your screen. Here's White. Pretty good pocket. Doesn't last long in it. Tipped away again, intended for Dillian Voss. It is 4th and 5. A no fly zone for Austin today.
Yeah, seems to be his assignment, and he's playing it very well, doing his best to close him out. And it's hard for him because even if he does, there's 2 other great receivers here in Oakland that are going to be able to get big plays.
Yeah, that's for sure. 4th and 5. The Raiders got to punt it away. And they'll give the Patriots a good opportunity here. But what a punt! In fact, it's
Wow.
downed at the 1 yard line. One of the finest punts you'll ever see here in the AFA. And the Patriots have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they sure do. I mean, the whole length of the field pretty much, and you still got to escape your own end zone.
They put him officially at the 2. in the shadow of their own end zone. Here come the Patriots. It's a run by the big stepper. Fighting hard, gives them a little bit of breathing room with a gain of 9 running left side.
Yeah, that's the play you needed to start out of the gate, right? And certainly a, a good run there for the big stepper. He's the one to give it to in that area of the field, right? Because give it to Bubba, he's just going to push it up the middle, maybe not get a whole lot of yards. But the big stepper, his speed will let him get outside.
Yeah, and there you go. You see him kind of reverse course, started to go to the left of the gap, cuts back, goes right of the formation, and picks up the first down. We'll get to see his rushing chart. Been impressive today in the
Yeah,
spurts that they've used him.
yeah, 9 carries here and 48 yards to boot. I mean, he's been very solid. Some explosive running. It seems like it's a lot of all or nothing for him.
Patriots here. Like we said, a long way to go just now out to their 15-yard line. They give it off to Thaddeus Bubba Rig. Powers his way for 2 before he is brought down by No Drew.
Yeah, they just seem to want to just continue pressing this run game, and I completely understand it. This has been your bread and butter for a long time, but at some point you're going to have to pass.
Here's McAllister going to roll out for the first time today as a man
Oh,
downfield tipped. Oh, and it was Van Lacey who was trying hard to come up with that interception. And I think it was Kilgannon who climbed the ladder, maybe 2 ladders there to get a hand on that one to bat it away.
yeah, almost tipped it to Lacey there. And man, Cam, I just my turnover meter is just bugging out a little bit here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's coming.
I feel it.
3rd and 8. And it could be a tipping point in this game. Here is McAllister. Sets up, throws, batted again. Incomplete. That time there were 3 Raider defenders in the area, and Tyron Voss gets the best of them on this play.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even need the interception, right? You just have just over 5 minutes to go. The Patriots have to punt the ball here. They're inside their own 20-yard line. It's 4th and 8. It's just you can't go for it in this spot, even if you are down. So Oakland's gonna get the ball back. Hope to continue chewing the clock like we've seen him do earlier.
A good return here for the Raiders. In fact, that's going to actually move them already into New England field, or I should say, territory here. 5:25 remaining in the fourth. With this amount of time, DJ, the Raiders can do themselves a big favor here. Take a lot of time off the clock and potentially come out of here with some points. Feels like a very important drive here. Oh, is this what an interesting formation? That is Tangenti with the carry.
Wow,
Try to dissect that for me, DJ. Gain of 5.
man, just they're pulling out all the stops at this point, Cam.
Was
They
that
they want
Wildcat?
it looked like it. Certainly looked like it.
That's 2nd and 5. As you see, White hike the leg, sends a man in motion. That's Trevor Austin. Delayed handoff to Tangenti. Fights hard for a couple more. That'll bring up a 3rd and 3 situation.
Yeah, and I feel like this is another instance where you got to run the ball. Yeah, I would love to see them let the play clock chew down a little bit more because you're going to
Yes.
see if they hike the ball. Yeah, they wasted 24 seconds of time that could have been chewed off.
That they did, and that is incomplete. And you're right. We just talked about what an important drive that could be for the Raiders if they played their cards right. Not good time management there,
No.
frankly. And that will stop the clock. 4th and 3 with 4:34 remaining.
Yeah, I mean, Tangenti's been successful on the ground really all day. You have 3rd and short. You need to chew the clock, and you don't give him the ball. It's certainly an interesting decision.
Well, they started the drive on the New England 48, and you see just how little they were able to move
Yep.
with a really good opportunity there as this return comes out to the New England 22. All right, so let's all take a deep breath here and exhale for a moment before we get started on this next drive. You start to feel that tension kind of building here in this black hole, as it's called here in Oakland. Here's McAllister throws. Oh, I thought we had the interception. I thought Kilgannon had it. Kilgannon.
Certainly should have. Oh, that would have been it. Yeah, that turnover, it just seems like it's looming over the horizon like a sunrise, right? I mean, just continued risky throws against, I'd argue, the best secondary in the AFA, and they haven't been able to make him pay for it.
No, not at all. Kool Aid going in motion as McAllister under center. As he throws, has a
Oh,
man over the top, about three Raider defenders. Once again, it's Quinchester Baggins, the tight end, with a first down. Big, huge play, as a matter of fact, for the Patriots there.
yeah, I mean, it's your big tight end. You just throw it at a high point, and he'll be able to get his hands up there and pull it in.
Cross play. Here's Bubba Rig coming at your right side. Turns the corner, picks up 8. They nobody want to touch him. They just kind of cornered him and pushed him out of bounds.
Yeah, just corralling him off a cliff like a big old bison, right? You might as
Yeah,
well just let the sideline take care of him.
that literally did feel like they were getting ready to, go in the PBR or something.
Mm-hmm.
You got that 8-second ride. All you want to do is
Yep.
just hope to hang on. As we've got Baggins in motion, 2nd and 2 here. See what McAllister does. He's going to drop back. He's going to throw. Tipped up
Oh
in the
man.
air. No. Again, Kilgannon all over that like a cheap suit, but he can't come up with the football.
I mean, the colors match too. The black, white, and
Yeah.
silver, looking like a bachelor. Just can't pull it in
He'll stay single on that play.
happily.
As, it, as it's a 3rd and 2 situation coming up here. Little handoff to Bubba
Oh
Rick, and he
man.
stopped at the line. I don't really dislike the play. That's Drew who comes in with the stop. I think it took too long to develop.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna run it up the middle with your big fullback, just hand it off up the middle to your big fullback. You don't need a counter run with two pulling guards. That just causes too much commotion, and it causes that to happen where No Drew gets into the backfield uncontested.
All
Would
right,
like to see
so
him go
you,
for it there, though.
I
Personally,
agree. That was the next question I was getting ready to say. You can tell we've called a plethora of games together. I was going to say, should they have went for it there? I feel like they should have.
yeah. I mean, I mean, like we had said, just fix that play call, run it right up the gut, and you probably get it.
Mm-hmm. 3:27 now remaining in regulation. Again, the Raiders with a good opportunity. Brady White going to throw.
Oh
Is
wow.
his man out to the 40-yard line is Voss.
And there we go. That's exactly what you needed. I still look at Oakland and I think run the ball, keep it on the ground. But if you're able to get passes off like that, Brady, might as well keep doing it right over the top of two Patriot defenders.
And what if I'm the Patriots? What would sting in my mind is the fact that you could have very well just punted that ball away with no chance to get it back.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know,
and I mean,
it,
it's a risky decision. They're trusting their defense.
for them and for their fans' sake, or certainly they hope that that defense can contain. Here's a tough run by Tangenti. Only picks up 3, but he fought hard for it.
See, now I'm interested to see because in the past we've seen the Raiders get into this situation and then they start throwing the ball. And that
Mm-hmm.
this is exactly what happened at the end of the last drive that Oakland had, right? They start to pass the ball. New England gets a few pass deflections and then they force, 3rd and long. They pass again. They don't get it. So I'm curious to see if they continue that pattern. The tendencies we talked about earlier coming
Yeah.
back.
How about Tangenti, 5 yards shy of a 100-yard game? That would be huge if he can get it. Here is the carry. He's not
Oh
going to get it
man.
on this play. Stopped immediately by the big number 95 there along the line, and it's 3rd and 7. And that should bring us to the 2-minute warning here, DJ.
Yeah, they'll get their free timeout.
And that they do. And if you're the Raiders right here with an opportunity to really kind of put this game on ice, if you can keep this drive going, you're watching the AFA on YouTube. 2 minutes left in this one. It is 3rd and 7 for the Raiders, and they hand it off. A very conservative play on 3rd down. New England will call one of their first 3 timeouts. That's a play call I can't agree with in this situation.
I can't agree with it, and I'm honestly shocked. I mean, we've
Yeah.
seen them in certain situations just like that before, and they pass. They continued to pass. I mean, I guess they just wanted to get one timeout out of the pocket of the Patriots, leaving them two for this next upcoming drive. That return's going to help a lot, actually, putting them just
Yeah.
outside the 30.
Yeah, all of a sudden, you talked about that sunrise looming over the horizon. All of a sudden, the Patriots have hope. Two previous drives that the Raiders really felt like they could have went and made this game their own. They have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
New England down 7. Can McAllister pull this one out of the hat? Here's the throw. It is complete. Curl route. Marley Cush. Timeout called for. Second one already burned.
I feel that interception. It just feels like every time they throw, I'm holding my breath. I will say it seems like they have found more success to the left side of the field. That
Yeah.
right side of the field, though, is just loaded. I'm worried if we see them pass over there again, it might get taken the other way.
Second and 3. They go right side, and he's able to snag it, reel it in. And the final timeout called for. Boy, those went quickly once New England had to start using them. From this point forward, they're going to have to go no huddle or spike the ball to stop the clock.
Yeah, besides that being a first down, that's a pretty big play there for Oakland. That tackle inbounds forces out that last timeout, and now you got to play with some anxiety if you're the Patriots.
That was Butters on that last
Wow.
reception. Whoa, look at that. I believe that was Butters once more who's able to bring that one down.
Yeah, I mean that was 1-on-2 coverage. He just put a hat on him, a hand on a hat, and got higher than the rest of them to pull that one down.
Yeah, he did. Here's McAllister throwing, has a man. That's
Wow.
Cush. Another 1st and 10. Boy, what a drive we're seeing out of the Patriots here.
Yeah, I guess all we needed to see for McAllister, to be his true best self was a little bit of pressure.
But you start going no huddle. Again, that turnover bug. It's always a
Oh,
potential danger. Again, tipped away. Big number 54, DeMarcus Demolition celebrating on that one.
I'll tell you what, I didn't think he could get up that high, but he stretched his full body out to be able to pat that one down.
That actually stops the clock. 58 seconds. That might not have been the worst thing to happen here for the Patriots. As we've got McAllister going to step up.
Oh, man.
Leaves it to the end zone. Oh, my goodness. It's incomplete. I was ready to call interception for Kilgannon once more, but that one slips through the hands. It's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I mean, the coverage in his face should have been taken back the other way and been called ball game. But New England forced to throw again. Certainly 4-down territory, though, so they still have 2 plays to work with.
Yeah, McAllister got a gift there. Here he throws this time, batted away. It's going to come down to this, DJ. 4th and 10 to keep the drive and the game alive for the Patriots.
I mean, you're going to need McAllister at his best. It's going to need to be perfect now. I mean, maybe watch another one of those quick seams there to Butters, but I don't know. That's hit or miss.
Indeed it is. 4th and 10. Here we go for the Marbles. McAllister throws to the ground. Incomplete. The turnover doesn't come as far as an interception goes, but No Drew says there is no way you're taking this victory from us.
Yeah. The turnover comes down to downs. And
Yeah.
there was just too many defenders in the area for that to be successful.
And boy, No Drew just about plucked it off the turf.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, Oakland is going to escape victory formation on, quite honestly, was a pretty sloppy 4th quarter. It just felt like that, didn't it, DJ? That they had not really went through the necessary means in any possession they had to secure the victory. But yeah, here we are.
Yeah, I mean they did just enough to hold out. I mean they didn't play their best football, that's for sure. Their best football is probably 4 or 5 interceptions in this game for Oakland because there were so many times it could have happened. But it was enough to win. That's all that matters.
Tough, hard-fought game. There's that victory formation everybody knows and loves, as long as you're on the winning team. Here's the snap. Inside of 5 seconds. That'll let the clock tick down. Final score. Oakland wins over New England to, again, pad their lead and further advance themselves in the standings as the top team in the AFA. As we get a quick look here at this post game. DJ, I know you got a plane to catch, brother. Give me your final thoughts, and I'll take it home.
I'll tell you what, man. This was just such a, you got to give credit to both quarterbacks. You see the passing yard total; they're practically completely even, right? Tangenti had a really big day. Bubba Rig and you know the big stepper combining his total pretty much. I mean, that just shows how well they use that dual attack, right? And I mean, just such a very solid day for offenses, really. No big mistakes. It just came down to which defense could make the stop in the big moment, and it turned out that it was Oakland's.
Indeed, partner. Have a safe trip back. I will catch you next week, folks, as we go ahead and finish wrapping up this game. We take a look at some of the final stats. Butters, over 100 receiving yards. A big day for him. Tangenti, 2 yards short of a 100-yard game in the rushing category. Lacey with the 8 sacks, or 8 tackles, only 1 sack today. That was Vrabel who got that one. As we take a look at our player of the game, and that's Brady White, who in the end able to do just enough with that cannon arm. He gets the esteemed player of the game award here for the AFA. Folks, we certainly appreciate you all for tuning in, spending your evening with us. To all of you out there watching, hopefully you'll have a fantastic rest of your weekend to the weekend. And again, more action. Boy, this team, this league, all these teams continuing to grow and develop at some of the most exciting sim football around. Until next time, I'm Cameron Duty from my partner DJ Kilgannon. So long, everybody. Have a good night.